Hey everyone, I am back with another review, Stephen King's Hearts in Atlantis. Take a moment to subscribe to me before we get started. It'd mean a lot to me going forward, and you will be the first to receive upcoming spoiler-free reviews. This book is a compilation of short stories, or at least that's what it's categorized as, though the first two stories in this compilation are novella-length stories. The first story is entitled Low Men in Yellow Coats. And Low Men in Yellow Coats is about an old man named Ted Brodigan that is on the run from apparently some kind of policing authority, and a little boy that he befriends named Bobby Garfield. And it's about their friendship and Bobby helping Ted to evade this authority force or figure that is after him. And this is a great tale. It's very good writing. I love this one. It's my favorite story in this compilation. If you've not read Stephen King's The Dark Tower, you would assume that Ted is probably on the run from the FBI or the CIA or someone like that. Though if you have read the Dark Tower series, you will know very well that Ted is on the run from the Crimson King's henchmen, the Low Men, in this case in yellow coats. This is a Dark Tower connected story. It's perhaps the closest or most direct connection to the tower, other than maybe the novel Insomnia. I love the first story in this compilation. If you've read the Dark Tower series, you have to read this one. And if you haven't, you can enjoy it just fine. They actually made a movie of Low Men in Yellow Coats titled Hearts in Atlantis. How strange is that? And if you watch the movie, you wouldn't really know who Ted is on the run from. But reading it may inspire you to read the Dark Tower series. So whether you read the Dark Tower or not, feel free to read the first story in this compilation. It is a very good story. The second story, Hearts in Atlantis, is about some college kids that formulate a relationship, a friendship, through playing the game of hearts at school. And it takes place during the Vietnam era, the era that Stephen King went to college. And it's about the whole peace and love thing, protesting the war, what college was like at that time. It's a very heartfelt friendship story. Friendship is the theme in this one. And I think it's the best story in the compilation as far as just quality of the storytelling itself. My favorite story, because of the Dark Tower connection, is the first story, but Hearts in Atlantis is probably the best story in this compilation. There are several other short stories in this compilation. One of them is about a man that pretends to be blind to panhandle in New York City, and he makes a fortune doing it. It's a very interesting story, maybe 20 or 25 pages, not a really long story, maybe an hour's worth of reading. It's a very good story. All of the stories in this are just so good. It's the best of Stephen King. I give this compilation 5 stars out of 5. This is one of the best books I have ever read. Potentially the best as far as just good storytelling. This is a great compilation. It's a sidekick to the Dark Tower. It is just a really awesome compilation. I give it 5 stars out of 5. It's Stephen King at his best. Hearts in Atlantis. 5 out of 5, I say definitely. Hell, I'm begging you to read this one.